Alcohol and substance misuse has led to a lot of atrocities in society. There is this case of absenteeism being one of the effects of alcohol. Children hardly go to school. Some go to sell alcohol to adults, because particularly illicit alcohol, because they've been sent by their parents so that they can reduce the poverty in their homes. Some end up with mental illness such as depression. We have issues of one going berserk. We have issues of stigma, and the cycle of effects continues. Teenage pregnancy set in. We have adults failing to fend for their family. You don't know you are the mother or you are the father in that particular household. Ladies and gentlemen, our topic today is on absenteeism in school due to the effect of alcohol and substance misuse. If we listen, we shall save millions. We shall save millions from taking the children to rehabilitation homes. Instead, they'll go to school. Millions will be saved from taking the child to the hostel because of falling due to injuries caused by a drunkard child. We shall save millions in terms of counseling services. Our children are being counseled all the time because they are ever drunk. Ladies and gentlemen, our topic being absenteeism, let's look at the classes that the children miss. Many school-going children fail to attend school due to alcohol and substance misuse. As a result, their grades get to drop. Some of the substances taken include marijuana, cannabis, heart. Alcohol too is abused by school-going children, some as young as 7, some are adolescents. They abuse alcohol, they abuse different substances as already mentioned. Now, how do they get to access the alcohol and substances? They get to access them from shops, different shops, particularly backstreet shops. They're good at that. The vendors, they have a trade pretending the hawkers, they're selling sweets, they're selling all sorts of merchandise. But the child puts their money, and in turn, something is wrapped, and before you know, it's cannabis, it's marijuana, and other substances which they're taking. We have also peers. They carry the substance to school to give their colleagues. They go to a parking yard or a meeting venue and share with their colleagues at school. They are sharing either it's hard, either it is bum, or any other substance they're using. That's how they get to access the alcohol and substances. We also have functions in schools like Parents' Day, the Day of Music Festival, the Day of Drama, and many other extracurricular activities. When they take place, then you get our good adolescent, our good school-going child is also using that opportunity to access alcohol, to access narcotics. We also have functions in the community. It could be a good function like a wedding or a graduation party, or during festivity periods. People are in a celebratory mood. Our children get to mix with those who are celebrating. In the process, before you know, the child is on alcohol and substance abuse. We also have some functions like funerals. When you stay overnight before burial, before interment of the deceased, then that period of mourning, our children are accessing alcohol and are accessing substances. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the truth. If you are a parent or a guardian to a child, that is what is happening. We also have other social gatherings in the community. There may be a gathering for circumcision period. There's a gathering for other festivity period. You are celebrating the good harvest. In the process of celebrating, another is accessing alcohol and another is accessing drugs. Now, what are some of the effects of alcohol and drugs to adolescents? They normally tend to get negative attitudes towards their teachers, negative attitudes towards their books, negative attitudes towards working hard, and the behavior change sets in. They start getting absent forever from classes. Then the delinquency sets in. Juveniles, we start getting young law breakers. They end up with low academic grades. They end up being candidates to the juvenile institutions, Boston institutions, and to our jails. Some went to school slightly older than others. Health complications do set in as an effect of alcohol and substance misuse. You get injuries due to accidents. We get heart and mental issues. Mental issues such as depression, ladies and gentlemen. This is when a child ends up getting stressed. A child ends up getting traumatized. Those are the mental conditions you're talking about. Then we end up with abortion and its related complications such as overbleeding, death, etc. We get teenage pregnancy. Some may carry the child to term, some may die in the process of delivery, some may die in the process of pregnancy. We end up with the transmission of sexually transmitted diseases. We end up with HIV/AIDS. We end up with complications such as anxiety, withdrawal symptoms from alcohol, withdrawal symptoms from substance misuse. They get to affect the adolescent. And as a result, the child's behavior is not for a normal person. We experience personality disorder. We experience suicidal thoughts. A child is thinking of taking his own life. And particularly when stigma also comes in, then those thoughts get to be nurtured more often. Ladies and gentlemen, we also get draining of financial resources of the affected family. You are struggling to take your child to the doctor, to the counselor, to the rehabilitation home, talking to a teacher to be coaching the child at home, talking to peers, trying to make the child internalize back to the family. And remember, some children who are upright will tend to reject such a friend. So you end up getting affected. Then we end up having dysfunctional families because it's a blame game. Mother blames dad, dad blames mom, and sometimes it extends to the extended family members, and the families just become dysfunctional. It's up to you. That type of attitude. We have denial of fundamental health services. When stigma sets in some institutions, you go and they associate you with that one who came from the rehab, that one who is ever here. We are ever injecting him to vomit his alcohol. So the child can easily get to be punished by denial of medical services. We get nutrition issues. Some are obese, some are emaciated. You wonder, what is she suffering from? It is the effect of alcohol and substance misuse. Falling out of school is also a factor. Some fall out of school, they don't continue their academic life. If you wanted to be the teacher, you are not the teacher. If you wanted to be a content creator, you're not a content creator. If you wanted to be an artist, you are not an artist. So that is what alcohol and substance does to a person. The crime rates increase. There's burglary, there's assault, rape, name it. In fact, we have some crimes which are just related to misuse of alcohol and misuse of substances. We get potential candidates for grooming others to be in crime. Crime is crime. It doesn't matter how you define it. It is our laws, if they're changed, that will make it different. Ladies and gentlemen, how do adolescents get money for purchasing alcohol and narcotics? This money comes from girlfriends and boyfriends. Remember, the abuse is two-way, either gender. The boy is abusing, the girl is abusing. And as a result, they end up getting access to alcohol and substances. Then in entertainment, some of these children decide to go to the clubs to entertain other patrons in that particular club. You can entertain through dancing, you'll be paid. And different forms of entertainment. As such, you get to access money. Then adults also have uses of money they have. The adolescents, sorry, not adults but adolescents. They have to use their money on giving their girlfriends some money, giving their boyfriends some money, buying cosmetics with the little pocket money that you give them at home, and also some go for sports betting. Now, in the process of using this money, somebody gets to learn, you mean I'm using my money just on cosmetics? Why can't I also try A or B? Sometimes A could be alcohol and B could be narcotics. So that's how the adults get to use, that is how adolescents use their money, and sometimes they get to buy the drug, sometimes they go gambling with their money. So it's good to help the child. Not the money can be for a good gift and a positive gift, not alcohol or substance. It could be buying a success card for a friend who is going to do exams. It could be for buying some small gift for Christmas for a real significant other, not for purchase of alcohol or purchase of substances. The adolescents also use their money on nutrition. You end up with an obese child. The child's pocket money is used for junk food. The different foods they eat is not the nutrition you know in your household. So you wonder, why is my child adding weight? Why is my teenage child adding weight? Why is my adolescent adding weight? That weight is as a result of influence of the type of nutrition the child has placed herself or himself in. Some substances lead to high appetite, so the child, besides the snack he carries to school, he also craves for other foods and buys because he has money. You've given the child money to use, and as a result, the child ends up being obese. You rush the child to the doctor. You wonder, these are the foods we cook at home. With the time, you'll get to discover the child is on narcotics, and the type of narcotic he's using is what is making that appetite to be what it is. Then the child also can be emaciated. The drug, the alcohol, the substance suppresses appetite. The child develops other conditions, bad conditions that are not checked in time, and they interfere with appetite. So the child ends up losing weight and becomes very thin. So that is how adolescents can use money, the money that you give them. And as a guardian, as a parent, it is important to help the child know you are giving money to prepare him for other roles elsewhere, when he'll not be staying with you, but in an institution of higher learning where he'll need this money much more. Money to pay for his accommodation in the hostel, money to put food on the plate in that hostel, and the money to buy the energy for cooking, and even the energy for ironing and doing his computer homework. So he needs to know, I'm giving you money for purpose this and purpose this. That's why we expose them to money. It's not for drugs, it's not for alcohol, and it's not for substances. That marks the end of our video. I take this opportunity to thank all of you who have listened to me, and remember to give your comment, and if you've not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification button so that you get to know when our next video is. Thank you.